What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. We have a lack of real men in our society. We have an arrested development when it comes to the men in our society. You see, we have a whole bunch of biologically adult males, okay, running around in all our communities, in the black community, white community, Asian community. Right now, because of the comforts modern day society has provided for us, despite all the different issues we have, there's certain comforts that we have that's made men very complacent when it comes to their role in society, right? So we have a whole bunch of men who are crying about not being selected, via nature's natural selection, right? So they manifest online, they become red pill, manosphere. They complain. Men are easily manipulated because of the feminist movement, the masculinity, the seeking of masculinity, the validation of their masculinity, men wanting to be somebody in the real world, men wanting to be attached to something. So with the combination of men being rejected by women, not being the chosen in the natural selection, natural order of things, these people have decided to take an immature route, right? Disrespect, ad hominem attacks. Their political ideologies is based around their personal life experience and his biases, because usually they're going against their common opposition, which is something they can't get. So a man goes after women. I hate women because I can't get a woman. I hate all women politicians, which in America leads to I hate the Democrats, right? If you notice, every male who has a problem with women, they all also have a problem with the Democrats. They have a problem with black Democrats, black women in positions of power, black women being represented on an equal playing field. These people are dealing with a subconscious inadequacies, and they project that onto other people. And there are smart people who know how to gather these individuals up to use their inadequacies and their insecurities to push political agendas that benefits them, right? And so they'll just press on their heartstrings, press on their hate strings in order to curate their hate and their discomfort towards a particular group of people. That's why in the black community, we have the weakest link of the African-American community, of the black community, and overall is the black male, right? Because the black male is supposed to be a leader, right? But for too long, we have been following other males in their institutions, in their structures, instead of following our own black African mind and creating our own institutions, creating our own tables and setting our own tables in order for our community to eat, right? And our black women, thank their freaking ancestors for them. Throughout history, black women have always been a solid foundation to bring back the black community when we have gone astray. As being a black woman, they have to deal with the fact that they are living in a world that is mainly patriarchal, so they have to deal with that issue. Then they have to live with racism and bigotry, so they have to live with more things than the black man. So therefore, from their position, they're always in a position where they have to fight, right? Especially when their black man, their other half, right, is constantly being attacked because of the power that they do possess. Because of the power and the potential of the black man, we are constantly under attack from every angle all the time. So because of that, we never get a chance to rest, because we're either distracted, we're either falling for the propaganda, we're either victims of the institutionalized attack on us, or we're just too tired or scared, or we're just worn out from the constant bombardment, right? So with that being the case, the leadership role that we as males are supposed to take, we haven't been taking it. You talk about the crack epidemic, the drug epidemic, how integration made it so we started to take upon the traits of white Europeans and their family structures instead of holding on to what makes us strong and powerful, which is the black family structure, the thing we should have been conserving in the first place, right? So because of that, whenever we're down, our black women always got to be there to kind of lift us up. But as a black man, I do realize that it's our black men leading the way when it comes to the disunification. It's our black men leading the way when it comes to grifters who are taking advantage of the black community and taking money from them and giving them false hope about things that are not plausible in order to fill their own individual pockets. It's the black men that do that. And are there black women that do it? Yes. But usually those black men, those black women that do it are following some black man that's doing it. Look at every female black grifter online, and they attach themselves to a male black grifter who's leading that black woman into that grift, who's leading that black woman into learning how to grift on her own, who's facilitating or platforming that black woman into the grift. So the ones that, black females that fall for the grift, that participate in that grifting culture, that's a detriment to the African American, the black community as a whole, they are always following some man first, every single time, right? Except for the feminists, right? But the feminists are also following that white man that tells that black woman, hey, don't mess with that inferior black man. You know, so you got to understand that at the end of the day, anytime you meet a Coonerian black woman, a off-cold black woman, there's either a white man or a self-hating Coonerian black man involved leading her in that direction. And as black men, we're supposed to be leaders, meaning first we got to take responsibility for our actions. We got to take responsibility for our actions despite the things that's thrown at us. As a man, if you stand on your two feet, you have to say, all right, as black men, we need to get back into our frame. That means we need to be more responsible with our families. We need to make better choices about who we impregnate and how we structure our families. We need to be the ones to value traditional marriage. If you want a traditional woman, you need to be a traditional man. That traditional men are supposed to have a certain level of thick skin, a certain level of grit, a certain level of intuitiveness, a certain level of education. Understand, like, to be a man, you have to build yourself. You have to build your mind, build your body, right? You have to become prepared to be the leader of a family, right? And we got to teach our boys how to treat women. We got to teach our boys how to respect women, right? Think about every woman that your son interacts with as your daughter, right? You don't want some man to take advantage of your daughter if you have a daughter, right? So we have to teach our men how to be respectful to women, how to praise and worship that black woman when she deserves that praise and worship, right? If you want a black woman to praise and worship you, you have to give her that same energy. You have to match that, right? That means you have to, don't just pick the black woman because she got a big butt. You know, what are her goals? How does she view marriage? How does she view life, right? Is she too difficult or not, right? Don't just look at her behind, right? Look at what's in her mind, right? And then you'll make a better choice or who you decide to make a baby with, right? The ultimate decision, who you're going to create a life with. That's like a serious choice that sometimes we just look at a big bum and we're like, yep, I'm just going to stick it in there. I get my 30 seconds of pleasure, you know, my 7-minute performance. And you got 18 years of a problem because you picked a terrible woman with a big butt to create a family with because you didn't take it seriously because you didn't want to wear a condom because you wanted to feel the whole thing, right? Selfish. So our black men need to become men, right? That means we can't be afraid of our sons. Put our sons in their place. Teach them how to be upstanding members of society. Also teach them how to protect themselves. Teach them how to respect their mother, their sister, respect their girlfriends. We have to teach the man how to be a real man, so that way our women can have good examples of what a real man is, so that we can teach our daughters how to find a good man. We got to teach our men how to be, boys how to be good men, and we got to teach our women how to be good women and how to look for a good man and not a thug. Women are looking for somebody that's going to protect them, that's going to bring them some excitement, of course, because they have to be attracted, but they're ultimately looking for protection and security, right? So you, as a man, you have to be able to protect and secure. That should be your goal if you're looking for a real woman, right? And as a woman, you want a man to invest his life, his livelihood, his finite resources into you, then you need to be worth it, right? Just because you cute don't mean anything, because that cuteness is done after the man done laid with you several times, he done got used to you. All that cuteness is out the window, especially when you start becoming toxic. You know, you can put as much makeup as you want, you can wear the nicest dresses. Your toxicity will make you ugly. Your inability to work as a unit in the relationship will make you toxic, right? You're not entitled. Just because you're beautiful, you got a big butt, you got some nice breasts, you got nice features, doesn't make you entitled to a man to be a slave to you for life. You have to, it's a partnership, meaning you have to give him what he wants if you want to get what you want from him, right? So, but I still say, as a black man, and the black community belongs to us, we are the leaders, even though as a leader, you have to understand there are points and times that your black woman can lead, and it doesn't take away from your leadership ability. It doesn't take away from your masculinity to allow a woman to lead. It's cultural consistency for Africans to partner up and lead in certain areas at which they are better at leading. African people who've been on the planet for millions of years, right? We have advanced socially to the point where we know that women can very well lead in certain areas, right? Men, we lead on the hunt, we lead in war, we lead in architecture, we lead in constructing, we lead in protecting, right? There are things that we're supposed to lead in as males. Yes, we are bigger, we're stronger, we think differently. We're supposed to lead. There's certain places where we are the leader. But there are certain places where your woman is put in charge, and you're supposed to protect her in her charge of being that leader. And you're supposed to listen to her and value her advice the same way you value your grandma's advice, the same way you value your mama's advice, the same way you value your auntie's advice. You see, you can look at women in your family and you see their natural leadership positions that they take, and you respect that. But when you get outside, you forget that that same black woman is a black woman, not just your sister, your mother, your grandma. When they leave that house, they're a black woman outside. And you will hope that another black male will give them respect and grace as you give them in the house. You will hope for that, right? So if you want the black men to treat your women, your daughter, your sister, your mother, your grandma, your auntie with respect when they're out in this world, you have to be the example. You have to teach your sons how to do that. You have to teach your daughters how to respect the elder women, right? We have to bring back respect and shame, and we have to enforce it. We have to enforce it because we have too many grown adult males running around acting like little boys. They're distracted, acting like boys, and they wonder why they can't get a woman. They're not ready. They're not prepared mentally. They're not prepared for this hard life. Life ain't easy. Even though TV says life is easy, just do this, 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 and this. And you find out you do this, 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 and this, and that shit ain't work. Why? Because you got to do all of that, right? And no, if you got to do all that, right, right, and you don't want to do that, then you're gonna be what you are. All right. So there's more work to it than just what the TV told you got to do to get what you want, right? That's the part of being a man, you know, dealing with struggle, dealing with situations, dealing with complications, solving the puzzle, you know, untying the knot. That's what you got, dealing with disappointment. Because as a man, you're going to get disappointed. Women, they're going to duck you. Women, they're going to shade you. They're going to do all that because they're women. They're supposed to be more picky about who they pick. Because they're the ones who got to get pregnant and carry the baby for 9 months. They're the ones who got to almost die giving birth to your child, which all you had to do was bust a nut. They got to go through the whole process to give you a child that sometimes even these men suffering from arrested development, they don't even take care of. And then sometimes the woman got to end up taking care of the child by themselves. And then you got those same exact men looking at those women talking about how many baby daddies you got. Oh, look at all them kids. Well, if we're the ones causing the problem and then getting mad at the victim for having the problem that we cause. If you know women are sensitive and they'll fall in love and you got a silver tongue and you say all the right things to get in their pants, you know that when you did that, you were giving her promises that you never planned on keeping. That you were starting something you never planned on finishing. So you create broken families because black men create broken families. And then in our society, we complain about why the family's broken. It's because we as the leaders are breaking it because we just want to get our thing wet. We just want to go skip and get our thing wet and move on to the next one. Even back in the past, even when we was in our frame, you get your thing wet. And even if you go get your thing wet somewhere else, you still had that responsibility to take care of your main woman, at least, at bare minimum. But nowadays, like I said, we got all these little children running around that's in their 20s and 30s and 40s. And you got all these children on the internet giving terrible advice to more grown children, just spreading the propaganda and misinformation that keeps the family ununited and divided and less effective. So anyway, I just want to say that we got to get our shit together. As a black man, I can recognize the faults that we have and that we have to fix the things within our house in order to take charge and be the leaders that our black women are looking for. You can't expect our black women to follow a weak man. You can't expect our black women to follow a boy. Boys follow their mothers. Boys follow other men. Men, they follow themselves. All right, you get it? A real man's not going to be following the trends and fads of other people to satisfy them with the detriment of themselves. Right? There's not one male guru online, right, white or black, that know what they're talking about. Look at all these red pill manosphere people. They're not married. Most of them are not married. And if they are, some of them are married to buy me drinky girls or mail order brides, or they had to go to the Dominican Republic to get them a wife because it's pay to play. That's just what it is. They couldn't get one from their own community because they didn't have what it takes, to meet the threshold necessary to get a real woman from their community, because they don't have that personality. So they had to go buy it, right? Yeah, they come online and talk trash. You got all the people that go get white wives that speak Spanish that criticize black women, when in fact they don't have a right to criticize black women because they went, and they don't value black women because they went and got them a white wife to speak Spanish. Phil Scott. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is we as black men need to step our game up, elevate ourselves, and some of you boys need to become men, because y'all ain't went through no rites of passage, right? Y'all playing men on TV, but y'all not real men in real life. Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
The reason that there is such a void of male role models for young men is because we literally do not have adult males in our population anymore. What do I mean by that? There's no adult males. Like, there's grown men everywhere, but they're not actually physiologically adult human males. They're not. I'm going to teach you guys some fun shit. So in biology, there's this thing called neoteny. It's essentially an organism will retain juvenile traits as it ages if it doesn't get stressed out enough. Okay? If you live in an environment that's too easy, you don't actually develop adult characteristics. I noticed this when I was in high school. I grew up in a very affluent area. And when we went to our grad night, it was at Disneyland. And we went with a bunch of inner city schools. And everyone I was with realized that all of these kids looked like adults. They looked so much older than us. It's because they were in a more stressful environment, which caused their adrenal glands to upregulate, which caused higher testosterone levels, which made them literally adults. Made them adults in a way that we were still juvenile. Every organism has multiple phenotypes it can have. All right, your phenotype's dictated by your genes, but what dictates which genes get expressed is your environment. The best example of this is pigs. So domesticated pigs, the pink ones that you all know and love, that's one phenotype. That's not even their healthy phenotype. You take a domesticated pig, you release it into the wild. After 6 months, you have a feral boar that has grown thick, curly hair and tusks. Why? Well, being in the stressful environment causes its adrenal glands to upregulate, increasing testosterone production, causing it to take on a different phenotype of a boar. Another example of this is with wolves and foxes. If you start to breed wolves and foxes and you select for more passive traits, their adrenal glands get smaller. As their adrenal glands get smaller, they develop floppy ears, curly hair, and spots, all things we find in domesticated dogs. All right, it's all based off the adrenal glands. Look at the population right now of adult men. What do we got? Men have never been fatter with lower testosterone. Men have never been fatter with lower testosterone. Those are both juvenile characteristics. It's because they're domesticated. Most people are domesticated. So why do men have all these juvenile characteristics? It's because people are domesticated animals now. Most human beings are domesticated animals, especially if you live in the United States. A domesticated animal is an animal fed by humans, taken care of by humans in order to get economic gain from them. What do you fucking idiots do all day? You just consume media, consume pills, consume food. You are domesticated livestock, and then you use your free time to then generate more labor and wealth for rich people. You're domesticated animals. The reason young men have no one to look up to is because a little piglet wouldn't look up to a pig. It wants to be a fucking boar. And all it sees around it's pigs, and it's like, I don't feel that in my heart. I feel like I'm a boar in here, but I have all these pigs in charge telling me that, don't worry, I'm definitely a piggy. It's all fucked.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.